To Reading with RP. Today we are going to talk about something very important to all of us. I'm going to be sharing with you how we can actually plan our finances better. So a lot of people out there are saying that they're very skeptical of insurance agent, but today I'm going to show you exactly how we plan for our clients. So this is something that you can do for yourself, and if you need help you can actually contact me for more information. So one thing that I'm going to share with you is how we actually plan for our critical illness. So one of the things that's very important is, why do we need critical illness coverage? As you all know, we have seen the recent news of many famous people, including Heng Swee Keat getting a very serious headache, angioplastic, having to go overseas and having the private doctors to operate on him. These are all very real issues in the world, because nowadays we are living longer, we are having healthier and healthier lives. As our lifespan increase, the chances of our cells mutating and growing and forming, having flaws in each of the mutation, is very high, and that is actually the reason for critical illness such as cancers. They are the most top killer in Singapore, and that is why we want to have the large payout, in the sense when anything happens to us, we can actually be rest assured that anything that happens, we will be covered by our insurance policies for whatever we buy. So let me give you a case study. So Mr. Lim over here used to have a very severe cough, and when he went for a checkup, his cough suddenly turned into a lung cancer. The doctor discovered that it was stage 2, which means that the treatment period for him would take at least 2 to 3 years. As you know, if you have medical coverage, it will cover you only for your hospitalization, and that is as long as you are being hospitalized. After that, it will cover you, depending on your medical plan, 100 to 180 days after your hospitalization. But if you look at Mr. Lee, in his case, he's required to seek treatment for over 2 or 3 years. Where can he seek that income to replace? Where can he seek the income to pay for all the medical expenses? Mr. Lee having to go through all his chemotherapy. His hair are falling out, as you can see. All the hair particles will drop out, because chemotherapy is a process where it kills a lot of the cancerous cells, and as well it kills all the good cells, and all our hair follicles will fall out as a result of radioactive radiation exposure. And as you look at Mr. Lee, during his recovery period, his body feels very weak. It becomes very hard for him to continue working. Mr. Lee is an engineer working in LTA, and LTA having to go to work every day is a pain for him. After 1 year, it was very difficult for Mr. Lee, and he has no choice but to stop his job. The employers gets only a maximum 1 to 2 months to compensate for his salary, but after that he is all left to his own. In this case, if Mr. Lee does not have any plans, he would have to depend on his family members, from being a sole breadwinner, and now he becomes dependent on his wife. His wife have never worked in and any jobs before, and was a housewife for 10 years. His children are still young, 2 to 3 years old. Where is he gonna have the income? Mr. Lee is in a very difficult position and is forced to borrow money from his relatives and friends to continue his treatment. It is do or die. Mr. Lee have to recover so he can continue to work. This is what is happening to many of our Singaporeans out there when they do not have sufficient medical coverage. Now let me show you the instance where Mr. Lee has gotten a coverage for himself. So I show you a sample product is the AIA's triple critical care. This triple critical care actually covers Mr. Lee for early stage to medium stage to even a late stage critical illness. So even if Mr. Lee went for a yearly checkup and he discovered that he has early carcinoma instilled cancer within his lungs, he is already able to seek his payout. So assuming that Mr. Lee has decided to cover critical illness for 2 to 3 years, his total coverage will be about 100,000 to 150,000. So this lump sum payout will allow Mr. Lee to live comfortably with this lump sum payout in his bank account. He's able to leave his job the moment he discovered that he has the payout has come in, and this will allow Mr. Lee to fully rest at home and recover at his own pace. The reason why most of us are attaining and getting more of these illnesses which are unheard of before is because we are increasingly putting stress on our bodies. As we put stress, our bodies find it hard to cope, and if prolonged period of time, since it will result in a genetic mutation which morphs out into these various problems that we have in our bodies. So if Mr. Lee is able to rest at home, he's able to enjoy music and drink tea, enjoy the days with his family members, take them out, have good food. Mr. Lee being in a good mood and good frame of mind, he's definitely able to recover himself even better. So let's go through a bit of in my videos I want to go through a bit of the storyline behind the reasons why we have critical illness products, and also I want to educate the public a bit more about the structure of the product. So to give you a rough view, I give you an example of a product that we have, which is AIA typical critical illness, just for your knowledge. So over here we have about 37 critical illness that we can cover you, including late stage, early stage, and major illnesses. So what are the coverage? Mostly people will ask. So there are actually 37 early and 43. So to go through with you all, generally a major stage will be like that, like a major heart surgery, and an early stage will be like a simple surgery with heart inside. So all this will be covered whenever it's a payout. So giving you some examples of people that have gotten certain illnesses like that is Lee Hsien Loong. Lee Hsien Loong had a pancreatic prostate cancer, which he took about 2 to 3 years to recover, and during this period he has his day off, and Dharman and Heng Swee Keat was the deputy prime minister for his case. So during this period he actually got a payout of $125,000 to seek treatment, and being the prime minister he is able to relax himself, and being there he is able to settle his family's finances without being too worried about what is going to happen to him. So this is just a snippet of how my video structures will be like in the future, and I hope you enjoy my video. If you have any feedback or likes, give a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and hope to see you there.